Something else that don't work for me. This Latocha Scott on this Nene Leak show. Take a listen at this small clip that we're gonna talk about it.
Part that I would say would bother me the most is my sister.
Oh man.
Like that would be the most. I mean, all of them are my sister, but my blood sister.
Yes.
That is the part to me. Like, have my back.
I remember when we were about to do Understanding, the song was getting ready to come out, and she had gotten pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget. They were like, "Okay, we're gonna kick her out."
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me.
Yes.
I said, Monster, and even though I knew I was like, Tamika, we need to use, everybody was like, we use birth control. This is our first time. The world doesn't even know Xscape yet.
Yeah.
So you're going to forfeit all of this, and I felt away, but I couldn't give up on my sister. You know what I told them? She goes, I go. Yeah. That could have been my whole career. I wouldn't have been sitting here. You wouldn't have been asking me about Xscape.
Right.
Because that's the love and the loyalty that I had.
Is she the owner of Xscape? She owns the I don't know. The name.
No, I own the name.
No, girl. Let me turn my chair back around. Wait 1 second.
Now, I own the name. Ew.
Now, how they gonna be outside using it?
That's why everybody's like, what are you doing? Why?
How can they? I mean, but wait a minute now. This is a trademark name.
Yes, ma'am.
And you
can go look it up yourself. Yes.
How they get to do that?
They're not supposed to.
So if you really wanted to,
if I really wanted to,
you could really sue them or something.
If I really wanted to.
Because I've always thought that Tiny owned the name for some reason.
Not. All right, I'm gonna take my time with this one. Okay, so let's start with the name. As much as you and your husband need the money, the reason why you ain't suing them for the use of that name is because you know it's futile. You know it's futile. You know that if they got a cease and desist letter today or tomorrow, and they opted to call it EX3, Candy in the Grass, formerly known as Xscape, it ain't gonna stop nothing. It ain't gonna stop nothing. So it literally would be a waste of your time and your money. Latocha Scott, I've never seen somebody who is just this blind and deaf. And it's weird, right? Because in order for me to accept you being this blind and deaf, I have to call you dumb. But then there's a part of me that doesn't believe you dumb at all. And for me to believe that you're not dumb says to me that you're being intentional about what you're doing. And that makes things even worse. I think that you are a special type of lowdown to get your ass on this Nene Leak show and speak about being hurt that your sister did not have your back and play into this developing narrative that you were somehow excommunicated or kicked out of the group. Tasha, how can your sister have your back in this moment where the crux of the beef is between you and your sister? Make that make sense. And then you want to compare apples and oranges. At the time in which your sister got pregnant, you and your sister were in good standing. Y'all were loving on one another. Of course, you're going to stand up for your sister. After this Xscape show happened, let's see what all that happened. You and your mama jumped her. It came out that you and your husband stole from her. Then you went on and tried to gaslight her on television. Then the ladies find out that your husband is cutting like, Tasha, there's nothing to defend. Your sister, along with the other ladies, were wronged by you and your husband. So how could she not defend you? How could she? And you didn't need defense against Candy and Tiny. You needed defense against your sister. And where were you going to get that from? You have did the residuals challenge. You have gone back to V103 several times. And now you're doing these interview rounds. And never once did you bring with you, I was finna say avoided check. Bitch, at this point, we'll take 4 post-dated checks. Post-dated 10 years into the future. Where's this girl money? You talking about everything else except this girl money. And then you are trying to win us over, the court of public opinion. And Latocha, there's not a single person that sees this your way. There is not a single person. And so I don't know this to be fact, but I am scared, Tasha, that like when you leave the world, you must only go home into your mama house. And that those must be the only 2 people who make up your entire sphere of influence and social connectivity. Because those are the only people who will continue to carry on your lies and delusions of grandeur with you. Tasha, there is not even a group of people who are on the fence about you needing to give the sister back the money. There is not even a group of people that are like, okay, Tasha, just give her 10,000 and let's call it square. Like the whole United States of Black people, America, is like all that's coming out your mouth, that's fine and good. Where is the girl money? We can start having any conversation you would like to have after the check clear. Then we can get into the nuts and bolts, the meats and potatoes of the group politics, who don't like who was supposed to wear what dress, and we can get into all of that after the and Tasha, I'm finna give you a lifeline. The check don't even have to clear. Like, can you give? Because here is the thing. Here is the thing. And I know this because I've been through it. It was so long ago, I can 100% guarantee you your sister don't even want that money. Now, she'd be happy to have it. Your sister don't even care about that money. It was so long ago. She's already gone through the hurt of you stealing it, and she's already gone through whatever financial, whatever she had to go through with $40,000 of her money being missing. She's currently on the road with Xscape, where they have grossed millions and millions and millions of dollars. Your sister is up right now. She is up. The last thing she's thinking about is petty debts. It's the acknowledgement of it all. And that's why I said the check don't even have to clear. It's the acknowledgement of it all. Your sister needs you to stop making her feel crazy and to stop making her look like a liar and to stop lying in front of folks. That's all your sister wants. And even if you give her a check, show up on one of these shows with a check that we know gonna bounce. I promise you, that's enough to get the ball rolling. Because that says to your sister, the fact that she even went on Nene Leakes show with a check that wouldn't clear, she's acknowledging to the world, but moreover, she's acknowledging to me that her and her husband took my money. And now we can finally close this chapter. You say you're sorry. You got on V103. You want your sister back. I want my sister back. It's about my sister. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why reopen up old wounds saying a whole bunch of nothing? And no shade. And this is no disrespect because this is me talking to like somebody I idolized in middle school growing up. One of the first times I met Candy, the first thing I said to her was, I cannot believe I am friends with you. I used to walk up and down my middle school hallways listening to y'all in my Walkman. Never in 10 billion years did I think I would be friends to the celebrities that I listened to. So it pains me, Tasha, to even have to view you like this because, and I know you didn't like this, you big girl from Xscape. Your voice is a large part of the soundtrack of my teenage years. And to find out one of your idols, heroes, celebrity crushes, whatever you want to call it, is this unscrupulous person who is incapable of taking accountability as a fan, it hurts. As a fan, Tasha, I ain't finna lie to you. We want your voice. Tasha, we want your voice. Those of us that grew up in the 90s, we ain't a bitch alive that don't go up for Big Girl from Xscape. My favorite Xscape song in the whole wide world is Softest Place on Earth. I'm glad that the girls are now incorporating it into the show. I love Tiny. I don't want to see Tiny singing Softest Place on Earth. I want to see Latocha Scott singing Softest Place on Earth. And it ain't no reason why Tasha Scott ain't on the stage singing Softest Place on Earth, except for the fact that she refused to humble herself, tell the truth. And listen, humbling yourself and telling the truth ain't even something you got to do for us. It ain't none of our business. Give your sister back her money. Give your sister back her money. And it's kind of like, if I was your friend, if I was Rocky's friend, I would ask you, or I would say to you, y'all keep doing things, and y'all need to write this down because this is real life advice. Y'all keep trying and insisting on doing things your way, and your way not working. You keep wanting to do things your way, and your way is not working. Tasha, listen to me, daughter. Rocky, listen to me. And this ain't even on no shade. This is wanting to see y'all win. Tasha, every time you do one of these interviews, it solidifies you as more untrustworthy, more unloyal, and it makes you look more like a liar, okay? We don't want to hear this from you anymore at all. We know the story. We've already chosen sides. We have already decided in our hearts that your sister is the victim and you are the villain. And there is absolutely nothing that can be done about that except change behavior. And it starts with the check. If you notice, I keep talking about the check. That's the one thing we're holding over your head. Once you give that girl that check back, then the girls have a not so good performance on stage. And it happens if you're doing 60 shows, 7 of them gonna be not so good. You give that sister back that check and you sit back and you wait for the girls to have a not so good show, or for Tiny, God forbid, to fuck up Softest Place on Earth. Then all of a sudden you got the whole Xscape audience saying, honey, they need to bring Big Girl back. They need to bring her and her sister. They done patched it up. I'm tired of seeing the 3. They need to bring Big Girl back. That's how you do that. And let me take it a step further. And when you do it, Latocha Scott, you may not want to hear it. And Rocky, you may not want to hear it either. One of my biggest strengths is my level of emotional intelligence and being able to tell what people want and how they're going to respond to something. The other thing you are going to have to do, Tasha, your husband got to stay home. It cannot appear whatsoever that your husband has got his hands in your business or on your mind. He cannot show up to dance rehearsal. He cannot show up to clothing rehearsal. And unfortunately, you don't have the liberty of saying, well, everybody else brought their husbands around, so I'm going to bring mine. No, because everybody else's husband has not been a failed part of the business. Everybody else's husband has not stolen, allegedly stolen, tried to secure a deal, whatever word you and Rocky need to use in order to sleep easy at night about what he tried to do with that contract and get an additional kickback. Nobody else's husband did that. Everybody else's husband, they played a role. Purse handler. Todd carrying purses. Tamika husband carrying purses. T.I. carrying purses. Not your husband. He want to be the group manager and do deals. And your husband, he don't carry purses. He do shake. You can't bring him around. I think the thing that pains me the most with Latocha Scott, what you need to do to get back on top is so simple. It is like, Tasha, today is Wednesday. By Monday morning, you could literally be a trending saint. You could be a trending saint on your way back to performing with those girls in the next 30, 60, 90 days if you do something so simple. And I'm just not understanding what's keeping you from doing what's simplest. But then you want to run around to these platforms with your narrative and no one's buying it, love. And that's how I know you don't got good people around you. Your hair, your makeup, your glam, your costume. I mean, I don't even know what they're glamming you for because you don't even work these days. You don't have good people around you. Because your people are not telling you the stuff. They're not telling you what you need to know. They're not. And somebody said poverty hasn't humbled you. You would think